If you really want to give God praise, if you want to say thank you and incorporate it into your lives, you do so by giving generously, you do so by joyfully singing, and thirdly, you do so by faithfully praying. You do so by faithfully praying. Paul says in Philippians chapter 4, don't be anxious about anything. Now look up here for a minute. How many of you ever worry about stuff? Yeah, that's what I thought. Me too. We all do, don't we? We do. And the Apostle Paul writes this from that same row in prison. I mean, any day they could say it's time for your trial, and he's going to go out, and he's going to stand accused simply for preaching the gospel, and undoubtedly be beheaded or killed as a result of it. And yet he says, don't worry about stuff. And let me tell you why. Because when we worry about things, it makes us not be able to focus on what is going on good in our life. We spend so much time ruminating over the bad stuff that we don't have a chance to focus on the blessings. And so he says this, Philippians 4:6, do not be anxious about anything, but in how much? How much? Everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And why does he tell us that? Well, again, when you're full of worry and fear, you fail to think about your blessings. You stop to realize what God is doing in your life, what God has been doing in your life. One of my favorite old hymns that we sing from time to time is written by John Newton. It's called Amazing Grace. And there's a line in that song which is so powerful. And the line says this, through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that's brought me safe thus far, and grace 'twill lead me home. Now, I don't know about you, but I know that I've gone through some dangers and toils and snares in my life. And I know that I've seen how God has led me through them day by day, hour by hour. When I wasn't sure I knew how, God's got me through them. And I have this amazing assurance from God that it's grace that's brought me safe thus far. And it's grace that will lead me all the way home. Oh, my friends, what blessings we have from God. What amazing blessings we have. And so that's why Paul says in Colossians 4:2, devote yourselves to prayer, being watchful and what? Thankful. A thankful prayer for God's blessings. So I'm going to give you a chance to do this in just a minute. And I know that some of you don't like it when I make you do this, but that's okay. We don't do it very often. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to, in just a minute, ask you to stand, and I'm going to ask you to turn to at least two people, and one of them cannot be your spouse. All right? So you need to find somebody else other than your spouse if you're here with your spouse. And I want you to turn to at least two people, and I want you to say, you know, God has blessed me by, and what? Now, don't you say, oh, God has blessed me by my wife. God has, okay, I understand that. Be creative, would you? Be creative and think about how God has blessed you in this past year. And I need you to find two people. One of them can't be a relative or a spouse. And I want you to say, God has blessed me this year by, and tell them what those blessings are. So stand up on your feet. Come on, find those people. Tell them what you are so thankful and how you've been blessed.